Welcome, everyone, to a moment in history. The world center of racing is alive with the sound of thunder of thousands upon thousands of horsepower as we get ready for qualifying for the 8th annual HTL Daytona 500. It's a bit of a double feature, 2 stages going into tonight's event. We welcome you to the start of Season 8 for the HTL Cup Series. It's qualifying presented by Team Conti Sim Performance. 2 stages here tonight. What's coming up here in about 5 minutes is single car qualifying. 42 cars trying to go for pole position. The front row gets locked in through single car qualifying. For those jumping in, it'll take about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, more than likely, to get through all 42 cars, which is perfectly fine and dandy. Then, stage 2, it is the Team Conti Sim Performance Duels at Daytona. There's 2 40-lap races to help set the rest of the field behind the front row. 36 of those cars are locked into the race. The question is, where will they start? The other 6 will be trying to fight for 4 open spaces. The fastest 2 cars in qualifying that are open are locked in there, which leaves 2 spots up for grabs, 1 in each duel, and 1 car from each duel going home. It'll make more sense when we illustrate it later on, but it's pretty simple. 1, 1, and 1 is sort of the math behind it. 1 gets locked in single car qualifying, 1 gets locked in the duels, 1 goes home. Well, we're glad you're with us. First time doing a simulcast here on AVN. You'll be watching this on Patreon or on YouTube. Hopefully, things go well. Let us know if there's any quality issues. That is a huge factor. If there's quality issues, please shout it out on either platform, Patreon or on YouTube. I know there's a lot of people watching on both sides, so we appreciate you. For those on Patreon, we appreciate you especially for keeping the lights on for us here. There's a lot of people helping keep the lights on for us here. We'll shout out some of our premium tier subscribers right now before we get too far into things. Straight Up Logan, Dogman2935, Eli Sasick, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head, E-Dogs, Colin McDonough, Blue, KJ Gibney, James Wright, and J-Paw. Thank you all so much for your support here on Patreon. A lot of stuff coming up here. Interviews coming up here throughout the week, getting ready for the 8th Daytona 500. You'll be able to see those in advance, as well as a lot more other stuff coming up on Patreon if you are a subscriber. But we are so glad you are with us as we get things started here. It's going to be a wild, wild time. Checking to see where that goes. That is not on this one. Okay, cool. Turn that off. And save myself a little bit of stress. Awesome. So, qualifying will be a big factor here. And qualifying will begin here any moment. Single car, 1 lap is the huge factor to sort of keep in mind here. So, this is predetermined in order. The order used to be a bit of a random draw. It is no longer random. It is determined by points position from last season as far as owners' points go. So some cars that are new will go first. Tristan Bayer will be first one up. Jason Scott, Olivia Pereira, Elias Flores are your first 4 to set qualifying times here for qualifying. And you see Tristan Bayer is the first one on pit lane to get ready for that run. And while that happens, we're going to try to plug our stream in a couple of different servers, so bear with us. Whoops. So that one's live, and then also post the Patreon link while Tristan Bayer's getting ready to go racing here in just a moment. I can see everyone watching along now, getting ready to join in for qualifying. We appreciate you being with us. I'm just grabbing some links and spreading the love around. Again, huge shout out to Team Context and Performance for sponsoring tonight's festivities, both parts, pole qualifying and the duels themselves. Had to make sure here. So right now what's going on, you got a couple cars on pit lane getting ready to go. Bailey Thompson, I guess, has just rolled out of her pit box a little bit there. You see the 27. A lot of good looking paint schemes ready to go here. But it will be Tristan Bayer that is the first car to roll out. For those watching, whether you're on Patreon or on YouTube, give us a shout. Who do you think is going to go for pole position tonight? We want to hear it. Tristan Bayer is waiting for the green flag to fly officially on qualifying. Well, there's more than 42 minutes. It's an hour and 42 is what it is. We've just cut an hour off of the conversation. You see some of the Ascent cars, some of the Joe Show cars getting lined up and ready to go. And Tristan Bayer will be the first one to get us started here for qualifying for the 8th HTL Daytona 500. Pole qualifying now underway. Tristan Bayer, one of several rookies in this field, driving the developmental car for Orlando Outlaws Esports. Lap now officially underway for Tristan Bayer. As we mentioned, several open cars in this field. Tristan Bayer is not one of them. This 5 car is chartered. It'll have different drivers throughout the season. Tristan Bayer, Blue Jade, DJ Trout, Wesley Worley, the 4 drivers that are listed for this car. But Tristan Bayer will be the primary driver for most of the races. Car 5 going through 3 and 4 here. We will see what he's got. The benchmark begins with him. Bayer across start-finish line, and his lap is good enough. 47.008. The benchmark that we believe pole time will actually end up being in should be closer to 46.7. So that does not appear to be a time that will go for pole. He will come down pit lane. Jason Scott now beginning his lap, I do believe. Yes. Jason Scott did 11 races in the in the season 7 campaign. It's all 26 at this point. Jason Scott, 11 starts, no top 10s, no top 5s, no pole positions. But came in, did a quietly effective job of just keeping the ship in the right direction there in the 91 camp after a very tumultuous campaign for the team last season. Is now a familiar face. And he comes around to complete his lap. I don't think that line's going to be a fast enough line to go anywhere. We'll see what it looks like. 46.9 provisionally, and that should be enough to go no, 47.032. So large berth for the timing line there. About half a tenth between the initial run and the finalized time. Pereira beginning a run now. Had the 38th average finish. It was bottom of all the full-time drivers last season. Daytona was the only high spot. Qualified pole position in her first career race in HTL, finished 7th in the 500 itself. Otherwise, a very struggling season for the Akron native. Round turns 3 and 4. On this qualifying lap will go Pereira. .0, 46.9. So it does improve there for Pereira, who goes top of the chart. And now you've got Elias Flores getting ready to start his lap for Ascent Racing. Made the playoffs for the first time in his career last season. Ben Roberts just now getting out on the racetrack to begin his run. Again, let us know if there's any quality issues. We're simulcasting for the first time. Everything so far looks good on my end, but if there's any issues, please let me know. Flores coming around to complete his lap. Pereira on provisional pole. Flores, what has he got in that 99 machine? 47.054, and it is slower. 47.053 for Elias Flores. It is 4th fastest. He will now focus on the duels. Bryn Roberts begins his run. Significant interest in the number 8 for Bryn Roberts. He is one of only 3 drivers entering tonight's event with more than one dual win. Roberts sitting with 2 dual wins. It's level with Blake Henderson and Caitlin Height as the only 3 drivers with multiple dual wins active this season. We'll see if he can expand on that here tonight. Caitlin Height won the shootout last Monday, trying to pull a sweep that has never been done in HTL. Caitlin Height, the only driver that's won all 3 individually. We'll follow that with great interest. Bryn Roberts sets a lap time, and it is good enough for provisional pole. 46.876. Car 8 goes top of chart early on here in qualifying. Davis Miller Jr., car 10. I don't know if I fixed his manufacturer. I did. Awesome. Button out the small stuff for a second. Davis Miller Jr. on the racetrack in car 10. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 he goes. Brody Smith will be up next. He is on the racetrack right now doing his warm-up lap. Davis Miller Jr. Cross start finish line. What has he got? Provisional time, it goes second fastest, 46.899. Now here's Brady Smith on the racetrack. And the 95, a lot of high hopes for this 95 camp. 6 top 10s and 17 starts for Brady Smith in his rookie campaign. Not a lot of experience in the 7th generation Cup car. Rose to the occasion, still with Joshua Racing here this season. I do believe it was not the Ascent number, so maybe they switched things around. He was listed as Joshua last weekend. If he is part of Ascent now, it makes a lot of sense for him to be a part of that conversation. Only strengthens the Ascent Racing camp with what he's capable of doing here in HTL. Across our finish line for Brady Smith. And the 95, is that top of chart? No. 4th. 46.997. So right now, 46.8 is the margin. We said that 46.7 was the expected pole time. So we'll see if that's the case. Gary Donaldson on the racetrack in the Under Armour 22. The California native. Still looking for his first career win. As he goes down the back straightaway. 122nd start coming up here for Gary Donaldson. And around turn 4 to finish his lap. Single car qualifying. Everyone rolls their eyes when they think about it. It goes pretty quick. They got 2 cars effectively on track at the same time. One on the back straightaway doing a warm-up lap. The other finishing their qualifying lap. Donaldson goes 3rd fastest here in qualifying. And so Tombstone Motorsports effectively on the board now with that 22 car. Hunter Whitlock. This car of significant intrigue. This car will be split between the 2 Hunters, Hunter Whitlock and the reigning HTL Cup Series champion, Hunter Peach. Whitlock in the car today. Peach will do a handful of races, about 7 this season. Whitlock will be in the lion's share of the starts here in this car. This is one of the open cars in the field. Remember, the fastest 2 open cars lock in on speed. Then it'll leave 2 spots up for grabs, 1 in each duel. For the other 2 open cars to race their way in, 2 cars will go home tonight. And Whitlock, look at that top of chart, 38.836. In an early salvo for the NFG Arrowhead connection. Whitlock goes top of chart early. Will he stay there? Someone would like to have a say about that conversation, and that is Marcus Chafin. Car 28 back on the racetrack for Ungiven Motorsports. Last driven by Matthew Boone. Now driven by Atlanta's own. Down the back straightaway. 1 career win back in Season 2 in Talladega. Super Speedways are his self-proclaimed strongest suit. We'll see if that pays dividends here tonight. Coming across our finish line is the 28. And where does Marcus go? 46.962, 5th fastest. Chafin is also in an open car. So right now he is 2nd on the open car speeds. He did not feel confident about a qualifying time. Felt like he was going to have to try to race his way in. I feel like we can probably agree on that. Dale Markowski on the racetrack, down the back straightaway. Cleveland native for Beagle Denny Racing in an open car. This is the 3rd open car. There's 6 in this field trying to qualify. And back-to-back, here they go. We'll see what it looks like here. Down towards start-finish line for Dale Markowski. Is that enough to go to pole position? No. He leapfrogs the 28. And so now, Marcus Chafin in Unforgiven Motorsports know for a fact they have to race in. Martin Roberg in the Asan number 60 for Orlando Outlaws on the racetrack. This is a chartered entry. 1 of 5 for the team. 4 primary cars for Orlando Outlaws. The 5 car is the developmental car, as we mentioned earlier, with Tristan Baer. Roberg on the racetrack at the moment. Looking for success here in Daytona. I did get clarification from Ascent team manager Eli Sasek. Ascent logos run some of the Joe Show cars. Brady Smith is a Joe Show car. Martin Roberg goes 3rd fastest. Leapfrogs to the 2nd row in qualifying. That will not be a front row start there for Martin Roberg. He will have to race in the duels to figure out his starting position. Kevin Gibney Jr. on the racetrack in car number 31. Pretty simplistic paint scheme for the New England native. Again, for those watching, whether you're on YouTube or Patreon for the first simulcast, please let us know if there's any quality issues. Frame rate drops, audio clipping, please keep us informed. I do check the chats periodically here. Pretty big moment. Kevin Gibney Jr. in car 31. Where does he land? 12 cars with time so far. This is car 13 with the time set. And it's good enough for 5th fastest, 46.906 for Kevin Gibney Jr. One of the rookies on the racetrack here for Joe Show Racing. And we know he's part of Joe Show Racing. It's Carson Lucas, one of the rookies in the field. Just now beginning a qualifying lap. Outlier Speed Company on the side of that car. That is the setup shop that is helping Ascent here in Daytona. One car has run, 2 cars have run, 3 cars have run so far. With Smith, Scott, and Flores, but they've been bottom of the order. I just can't count. Pereira's also there in 9th. So 4 of the 9 cars for Ascent and Joe Show have run. Wants to see Jason Scott on the board. Car 14 has set a time, and it is the slowest. 47.069 for the rookie. He is locked in. Not a worry for the 90 car. As he sits in safely in the field. The question is just where he's going to start in this race. Right now, he would be in duel number 2. California native DJ Anderson back on the racetrack. Finished the season last season in that number 19 car, running the full campaign for NFG Motorsports. The carousel stops with him. He's got 2 rookies alongside, Nick Pressey and Mirabella Viscali. Viscali in the 18, Pressey in the 20. We'll talk about the 67 for NFG Motorsports as well. Hunter Whitlock's already run. Let's see where Anderson places his Toyota in the field. Pretty impressive run for Whitlock. He is top of the chart. What about Anderson? Can he join him? It's going to be tight at the front of the field. Anderson down towards start-finish line. What does this time look like? It's not good. 48.021. And he'll be at the back of the field. He's a chartered entry, so he's not under the heaviest duress. But he'll be near the back of the field. Another chartered entry, but this one looking for pole position. Caitlin Height for Arrowhead Racing, the first Arrowhead car to run. There's 4 trying to qualify. 3 locked in. 1 open car. The 16 of Derek Miller will run later on in the night. Caitlin Height The previous pole sitter has won the 500, has won the shootout, has won a duel twice, has won everything here at Daytona, looking to do it again with a team that brought her into HTL back in Season 3. Cross-start finish line for Caitlin Height, and that is provisional pole 46.817 for the 18-time HTL Cup Series race winner. The Massachusetts native makes it a Toyota front row after 16 qualifiers. Byron Jones will try to disrupt it. 4 Orlando Outlaws from coast to coast last season. Wants to break into the win column. Goes from a very lopsided team dynamic last season to one that is stable and a little bit more positive all around. Arizona native down the back straightaway. We'll see what he's got. Through 3 and 4 to set a lap time here to see if he can contend for the front row for the HTL Daytona 500. It will be 9th fastest. 46.945 for Byron Jones. The second Arrowhead car on the racetrack. This one belonging to James Wright. Derek Miller just now joining the racetrack as well. So Arrowhead cars going back-to-back here in qualifying. James Wright, he's got a best finish at 8th. He's done it twice in his HTL Cup Series career. Grand Rapids native, running full-time for the first time. He ran his own team previously, Stepping Stone Motorsports. Now he's part of Arrowhead Racing. Looking to expand and improve as a driver. He comes around to complete his qualifying lap. Caitlin Height provisional pole. James Wright goes 3rd. Statement of intent for Arrowhead Racing for E83 Flying Machines. It's 1, 2, 3 for that group right now. And Derek Miller's going to try to make it a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch. You want a combo, let it go. Representing E83 Flying Machines, the matte black and purple, the electric purple on that 16 car. This is one of the open cars. Remember, top 2 open cars make it on speed. The 16 and the 67 could be those 2 cars with how things look right now. Still a lot of cars yet to qualify for the HTL Daytona 500. But Derek Miller knows how to get around the World Center of Racing. Will this go to the top of the chart, or will it be close? Round start finish line. And Miller's time, 4th fastest. And E83 Flying Machines and Toyota have the sauce early on here in qualifying. The first one to try to bust up that Toyota conglomeration at the top of the board is Utah's own Dustin Hall for Beagle Denny Racing. You got the most pole positions of anybody in this field, Dustin Hall. It's a new look for the number 1 car this season. That was more of a ride share last time out. 15 pole positions for Dustin Hall. Only 7 wins, though. Can he break into the win column for the first time in almost 4 years? It starts with how you qualify. Then we'll see where he goes. Dustin Hall going to try. Running Team Conti equipment right now. Across start finish line. Is it enough to go top of the chart? It might be 4th. So top 2 to keep an eye on. Remember, it's the top 2 open cars locked in on speed. Right now it's Whitlock on the front row and Derek Miller in 5th place as the second highest open car in this field. We move forward here. I believe Bobby Blevers just now beginning his outlap here. Christina Ryan on a qualifying run, the Charlotte native. was outstanding in the Double Barrel Challenge, won here and in Atlanta in the Gen 6 cars, is a Daytona 500 winner on the iRacing official circuit, a former eNASCAR Collegiate Series driver, former ABN World Champion. There's 3 of them in this field. Her accolades, her resume are innumerable. This is to finish a lap for Christina Ryan. Car 80. And a car all her own only goes 13th fastest, 46.952. And Blowers will begin his qualifying run now for Orlando Outlaws. Minnesota native. Approaches turn 1. Down the back straightaway goes Bobby Blowers. I'm trying to catch up on some of the chats here, so bear with me. I apologize if I'm not seeing all of them here. Jeremy asking if that stands with it, lock me in. James Wright is in a chartered entry. He's not in an open car. That would be Derek Miller. Bobby Blowers across start finish line. Where does he go? He goes 4th fastest. So a little bit of speed there for Twisted Setups in Orlando Outlaws, breaking up that Toyota monotony at the top of the board, but it still leaves Toyotas 1, 2, and 3 right now. And there's still quite a few Toyotas left to run. One such Toyota, not part of the NFG Arrowhead Alliance, but Richard Odie III, now part of a 2-car operation. The New York native begins his qualifying run. Blowers goes 4th fastest. Odie has fond memories of this car. Last time he was in this car in a successful fashion was Chicagoland Speedway, the HTL National Series, almost a little over 2 years ago now. He was victorious there. It is his only HTL win of any kind of any of its 3 major series. But he knows what it's like to be successful in this Gen 6 car. Again, very fond memories of that time in Joliet. Looking to set a good qualifying time here. Let's see what he's got. Cross start finish line for Richard Odie, and it is not a great time. 22nd fastest, 47.457. He'll have to try to race forward in the duels. 2-time former champion, former HTL Daytona 500 winner. It is Josh Soucy at the top of the board. The Maine native from Caribou. From Nitro to Team Watson Racing Setups is the 81. The Silver Bullet will try to go towards the front of the field. This is someone else that could try to break up that Toyota lockdown at the top of the chart. Kevin Gibney Jr. could not do so. Is sitting 10th at the moment. His teammate, Davis Muir Jr., also sitting in the top 10 in 9th. Is that where the 81's going to sit here after his lap time? We'll find out. He's had a chance to make adjustments if he can. He will not get close enough to the top of the board. It is a 46.870 for Josh Soucy, and he will miss out. He will have to try to determine his starting spot in the duels as well. 2-time race winner from Longview, Texas, Tucker Sawyer. Won at Watkins Glen in Season 6. Won at Talladega last season. Now in an open car, the pressure is up to try to race his way into the field. Not a full-time entry, mostly running the super speedways and the road courses is Tucker Sawyer while he's focusing on his ABN World Championship campaign in 2026. The 5th car for Ascent Racing proper. He would like to be able to lock himself in. It's a tall order to try to do so. He's got to leap ahead of Derek Miller, who is 7th fastest at the moment. Tight group at the top of the board, and Tucker Sawyer will not get there. 19th fastest, 47.003 for the Texan, and he will have to try to race his way into the field. Beginning a qualifying lap is former champion back in Season 3, 4-time race winner, Zach Meredith, Florida native. running a very patriotic paint scheme, red, white, and blue, the stars and stripes, flying around the racetrack, replacing Mark Kissenweather for Militia Racing Club this season. This team won the Daytona 500 last season. Can they go back-to-back? That is the big-time question as Meredith goes into turn number 3. What's he got? Zach Albertson up next, car 4 for Unforgiven Motorsports. Meredith across start-finish line. Where is this time? Place him 24th fastest. That'll be all. 47.283. Not a quick time for Meredith here. He'll have to try to race his way to a better spot in the duels. Start of qualifying lap for Zach Apperson and Unforgiven Motorsports from Montclair, Virginia. Entering turn 1, the Red Bull, number 4. Marcus Chafin, his unchartered teammate, sitting right now 16th fastest. His chartered teammate, Christina Ryan, just ahead of him in 15th. So 15th and 16th for the Unforgiven cars so far. Where does Apperson go? Justin Hall, another car using Team Conti equipment at the moment, has gotten as high as 5th on the time charts. Car start finish line. He goes 17th fastest. So the Unforgiven Motorsport cars, 1, 2, 3 in a cluster. Unfortunately, that means that one of those two cars will be in a duel on their own as things currently sit. Casey Ellis on the racetrack now, car 35, the teammate for Richard Odie. Begins his qualifying run. Odie, not a quick lap time, 26th fastest. Let's see where Casey Ellis goes. Prior starts in the HTL Cup Series for Casey Ellis. Now back and racing full-time here in Season 8. He's a chartered entry. Locked into the 500. The question is starting spot for the 35. To my understanding, there's only one open car left to run. Actually, I could be wrong, and all of them have run. I'll have to double check here in a second. Ellis goes 12th fastest. So bear with me. Patrick Overstat, healthy, is a little bit of an overreach. Just a little over a month ago, had shoulder surgery. And the Connecticut native in the car 88. Looking to back up his success from last season. 3 wins for Patrick Oberstadt. First time we saw him victorious, it was here in Daytona in the ARCS Truck Series. Almost 3 years ago. And he has won continuously ever since. We'll see what he can do. Again, Dustin Hall is 5th fastest. His teammate there at near the top end, the sharper end of the conversation. Bren Robertson 8th. Another team car for Beagle Denny Racing. Del Markowski 14th is an open car. He is going to have to try to race his way into the duels. Patrick Oberstadt, cross start finish line. Where does that put him? 47.997. He's locked in, so it's not the biggest issue, but he will try to improve his position in the duels. He'd be 14th on the start for duel number 2 right now. Bailey Thompson won Chicago Street Course a season ago, racing for Tombstone Motorsports after racing for Unforgiven a season ago. And that's Sprite, number 27, coming around turns 1 and 2 on a flying lap. Up next is Mirabella Viscali, one of the several rookies in the field. Billy Thompson's lone win came on the streets of Chicago, looking for an oval win. Super Speedways have not been kind to the 27 camp in her HTL Cup Series career. Coming around start-finish line is Thompson. Where is Thompson going to go? The Alabama native puts a time good enough for 14th. Right behind her teammate, Gary Donaldson. 46.922 for the 27, as Viscali begins a qualifying run. The Indianapolis native in car 18 for NFG Motorsports, rolling around the racetrack at the moment. Finished second in the CART Indianapolis 500 just a couple weeks ago. Leads the points in the CART Championship right now. Getting up the turn with her new team here in the HTL Cup Series, making her debut here at the World Center of Racing. Down the back straightaway. Again, 3 Toyotas at the front of the field, all part of the same group Viscali is in. Viscali getting coached on how to take a lap here at Daytona, how to qualify well. And you're seeing that pretty well in formation here. Same tight line out of 4. Cross start finish line. Where does Viscali go? Viscali is a chartered entry, and that is front row start, if it holds for Viscali. And once again, the Toyotas 1, 2, 3, and 4, with several Toyotas still to run. Most of the runners left over are Toyotas here. Your defending HTL Daytona 500 winner, Chad Swatsworth, in a very dilapidated 18 car. That's a rough-looking machine. But Chad Swatsworth won't be worried about that right now. He'll be worried about just getting that car in a decent position. We'll fix that in between qualifying and the duels. It's not even the right number. He's supposed to be in car number 6. News came out today on patreon.com/ABN Studios that he would not be full-time this season, running a limited schedule while taking on personal achievements and goals. He is 29th fastest, 47.395, and he will look for improvements in the duels. Another Toyota, Ascent Racing's team leader, Eli Sasek, the Michigan native, has won here at Daytona once before. It is the Firecracker he won, the midsummer race here at Daytona. He has not won anywhere near the season opener. And that Firecracker is his lone HTL Cup Series victory so far. Perennial playoff contender, but not a championship contender much. We'll see if that changes. It seems like they've got something figured out in the Ascent camp. They seem optimistic here going into Season 8. We'll see if that sits, not only after these first couple races, but after the first 5 or 6 events. Eli Sasek, cross-start finish line. Time across the board, 46.996. And that'll be enough for 22nd, but no further. There are 2 Chevrolets left to run. This is one of them. Steven Oberstadt in that Wrangler throwback-inspired number 3. First time we saw Steven Oberstadt victorious was also here on the high banks of Daytona. Also in the ARC Truck Series almost 3.5, 4 years ago, actually, because Steven was the first one to win. Patrick followed in his brother's footsteps a couple seasons later. Steven rolling around the racetrack at the moment. The team, really the team captain for Beagle Denny Racing. Alfred Denny, a co-owner in that team. The yellow and blue coming around to finish this qualifying lap. Can Oberstadt do something he's not done very often, and that's go for pole position? No, 21st. 46.974 for Steven Oberstadt, the older brother. Still qualifies Patrick, but still nowhere close to where they wanted to be on the speed charts here. Josh Arnold, the most recent Firecracker 400 winner, in an all-black Toyota, car 12, rolling around the racetrack here. No pole positions in his career. Sorry, 2 poles. Completely wrong on that. I was looking at somebody else's stat line altogether. 3 wins, though. The Firecracker in Kansas last season on top of a Brickyard 400 2 seasons ago. He'll be looking for more. His two poles were on intermediate tracks, so no super speedway poles. We'll see what he can do here. Really high off the yellow line, trying to carry as much momentum as possible. down towards start-finish line, it's not going to be a good lap time. And Militia Racing Club will have a lot of questions to kind of go over here before the duels. 47.320 for Josh Arnold. Unusually off the pace there, but all three Militia Racing Club cars not happy with how things look right now. John Matthews, his rookie season out of the way. Now representing Red Dead Redemption 2, it looks like, on that 98 car. Super host on the side panels. And that fourth car for Orlando Outlaws at the moment. His lap time looks like here. His teammate, Bobby Blowers, is top 5. Martin Roberg is 15th. Byron Jones, 17th. Tristan Bear, 26th. Pretty spread out group. And John Matthews will be closer to the top end, 7th fastest for the 98. Top 2 open cars, still the 67 and the 16. I believe that is official. I'll have to double check here in a second. But I believe all of the open cars have run. Mo Perry. Car 97. The Indiana native, one of several in this field. Going out of turn 2. Making his debut. Ran one full season of Winstall Cup Series action. Most ABN fans will know him from the ABN Champ Car World Series, where he competed in 4 seasons of action. He's now moved his attention over to the HTL for his inaugural campaign for Joe Show Racing. Coming out of turn 4. Also running a little bit higher up the racetrack on the exit there. Down towards the yellow line. This will be a 46.981, 23rd fastest. And it's becoming pretty clear, the haves and have-nots. How high up the racetrack do you run out of the corners? Blake Henderson up next. Broke a winless route. Over 1,100 days in the making last season, the Atlanta native. A Charlotte transplant. Looking for a win in HTL's biggest event. He won ABN's equivalent, the ABN Daytona 500, 3 years ago. He has yet to win here at Daytona on HTL ground. He's won 2 duels. Those were non-points events. He has not won the Firecracker. He has not won the 500. He has been a contender every single time. But he's not been there on the last lap when it matters. Keeps it tighter. They're out of turn 4. This should be a really good lap time. Will it be enough for front row? He hopes it is. Cross start finish line for Henderson. And it's actually nowhere close. That is surprising for Henderson. 18th fastest, 48.932. And that puts him smack dab in the middle of everybody. Pacey Wygen begins his qualifying run. Running for Ascent Racing here. Two cars not present for qualifying, because we're going to have... one car not present for qualifying. I'll have to see who that was. That's not present for qualifying. Alfred Denny is here. It looks like he is not ready to go racing yet. Looks like he has missed qualifying, so he will be a part of the duels. Pacey Wygen finishing his lap. And this will not be a fast one. 25th fastest. 46.992 for the 00. So Caitlin Height, as things sit, guaranteed front row. The question is, where does car 15 go in this mix? 4 Toyotas at the front of the field. Whitlock and Miller are locked in on speed for the HTL Daytona 500. Now they just get to determine where their starting positions are going to be. The other 2 spots, the last 2 open spots, will be up for grabs, 1 per duel coming up. Emily Howe, the Charlotte native, the Winstall 400 champion from 3 years ago. will try to go for pole position here. Really high out of the corner. What does it look like for Emily Howe? Is it a front row start? 100% it is. 46.772. Arrowhead Racing front row lockout. But it's a Toyota 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A lot of venom this offseason. And there's the response. Emily Howe and Caitlin Height front row here for the HTL Daytona 500. Emily Howe on pole position. Caitlin Height in second. Mirabella Viscali in third. Hunter Whitlock, the first open car, in fourth. James Wright, top 5. Bobby Blowers in sixth. Remember, odd number cars will be in duel number 1, even number cars in duel number 2, based on their qualifying position. So Howe, Viscali, Wright, Hall, Susie, and Roberts will be in duel number 1. They'll lead the field to green in duel number 1, which is coming up here very shortly. Caitlin Height, Hunter Whitlock, Bobby Blowers, John Matthews, and Derek Miller will lead the field to green in duel number 2. See if the results page works the way we hope it does. It gives us the order, but that's about it. Unfortunate. So not everything's working as it should be. That's fine. Maybe we'll deal with it. Emily Howe and Caitlin Height, top of the board. And that will conclude qualifying. Very quick qualifying rundown. It only took a little over 45 minutes to go through 40 cars on the racetrack. One car did not set a qualifying time. I'm not sure. I can't like deduct who that was immediately. It's one of the chartered entries. Double checking here. But Emily Howe and Caitlin Height on the front of the field. Everyone trying to figure out how Emily Howe found the time. Because look at the gap between Emily Howe and Caitlin Height. Half a tenth is hard. It's hard. But the top 5 Toyotas all part of the same equipment. And it's tough. Whether or not E83 Flying Machines can keep up this pace is going to be really hard to figure out. But, wow. Alfred Nate saying he did miss his spot, so he will be in the duels. He'll be last in the duels. There's still one open card. There's still one charter that's not present. Because we're supposed to have 42, and we have 41. So I don't remember who it was. And it bothers me. Patrick Oberstadt said he was on race setup. He was on race setup, so it didn't. Oh, that's a gut punch. I wonder how many drivers did that. Because there's a huge spread in lap time. I wonder how many drivers did that. That's rough. Now take a look here. And got a correction there. Appreciate Mirabella Viscali. Nick Pressey, one of the 36 chartered entries, did not qualify. His internet is out until Wednesday. He will start at the back of the field no matter what happens, so it doesn't change how many open cars get in. He will be at the back of the field on Monday's Great American Sim Race. So, Emily Howe and Caitlin Height, top of the running order here. Let's see if we have potential. No interviews at the moment. I'm assuming we'll have interviews following the duels, though. Emily Howe and Caitlin Height just absolutely walked across the field in that qualifying session. But now we split the field into two and get ready for duels here in Daytona. More to come from the World Center of Racing. It is the Team Conti and Performance Duels at Daytona coming up here. 2 40-lap races to determine positions 3 through 40 for next Monday's race. We're going to step aside and let the process begin. Don't go anywhere. More racing to come here after this, both on YouTube and on Patreon. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to the Team Conti's and Performance Duels at Daytona. 2 40-lap races coming up here at the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Single-car qualifying is set. The provisional running order for both of these duels. Odd number qualifiers go to the Duel 1, which is coming up here for us in just a couple minutes. Even number to the second duel to determine the outside lane later on tonight. There's Emily Howe at the front of the field looking electric in qualifying with a 46.7. We get to talk to Emily Howe here in just a moment here at Daytona as practice is ongoing here to last warm-up before the duels. Just going to go ahead and see if we can get a word with our new Daytona 500 pole sitter. Emily, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. Do you got a copy?
I gotcha.
A wild qualifying. Everyone taking note of the 15 camp and the E83 Flying Machines. So to Camry, walk us through it. That was a wild qualifying, a full half-tenth clear of everybody else in the field. Just kind of walk us through how the car felt, because it looked like a dream.
Yeah, I mean, it felt pretty good. Obviously, I mean, we got all our cars up front, so that's great to see. We got all the cars in the show who needed to make it from the open charters. So overall, successful day for, what's our team name again, Carmen?
Arrowhead Racing's our team.
Okay. For the Toyota team, the Arrowhead Racing and the other one. It's a very successful night. No complaints from me. I'm glad to be on pole, glad to not have to really worry too much about the duel at all, and just go out and just get some experience and just kind of see how this field races.
Obviously, this is your first time running in depth here in the HTL Cup Series. Getting on pole position, it helps out a lot. All 8 cars for both Arrowhead Racing and NFG Motorsports are locked into the show. What's the objective? What's sort of the boxes that need to be checked off for the team going through this duel? You talk about just kind of learning how kind of people act. Is it sort of just learning sort of how the team responds in this race, or sort of what's the checklist?
I think it's more so just, getting everyone to get experience and just being comfortable in the car for next week is going to be a really important factor. And then for me, just kind of seeing, I've never really raced in this group, so obviously I want to see who I can trust, who I can push, who I can't, race with and whatnot, and just kind of, get a notebook for next week going.
A lot of time to get things figured out between tonight and next Monday for the HTL Daytona 500. Emily Howe, pole sitter. Before we let you go, if they want to shout and say thank you, the floor is yours. And obviously, good luck here in the duels. 10 points on offer for the winner of duel number 1.
I guess one thing everyone at Arrowhead, all of our sponsors, Toyota for giving us good race cars, and obviously everyone at AVN for putting on these great broadcasts and watching me think of the show sometime.
Emily Howe will lead Duel 1 to green here in Daytona in just a couple minutes. Emily, congratulations on pole position and good luck here in Duel 1.
Thank you.
That was Emily Howe, your pole sitter here in Daytona. That being said, it is time for us to get ready for Duel 1. 40 laps here in this duel. All of it super important. If you need to get things right, you better have it done by now. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the starting grid for the first Team Contest and Performance duel at Daytona. It's the Alliance at the front of the field. Emily Howe and Mirabella Viscali front and center on row 1. Row 2, Hunter Whitlock, the fastest open qualifier in single-car qualifying. Locked into the show, Dustin Hall alongside for Beagle Denny Racing will be in row number 2. Row 3, Josh Susi and Bren Roberts. They make up that row together there. Row 4, Davis Mills Jr. and Casey Ellis also locked into the field from here. Row 5, your top 10 is Real Fine Billy Thompson and Dale Markowski. One of the open cars, just 2 in this field, racing for 1 spot. Dale Markowski is the highest qualifying of those 2 in that fight. Christina Ryan, Zach Apperson just outside the top 10 here for the start of Duel 1. They sit in row 6. And then it's Mo Perry and Olivia Pereira, teammates, in row 7. Row 8, Brady Smith and Tristan Bayer. Both of them locked in as chartered entries. Row 9 is where you'll find Elias Flores and Zach Meredith. And then you get to row 10, 19th and 20th, Chad Swatsworth, Patrick Oberstadt. All in that conversation. Alfred Denny in row 11. As we get ready to get racing here in Daytona for Duel 1. Appreciate you watching. If you're watching on YouTube, join us on Patreon. QR code on the left of your screen, as well as in the description down below on YouTube. Come in and join us. We have Countdown the Green coming up before the HTL Daytona 500 next Monday, and then ABN Victory Lane after every HTL Cup Series event. Also, a huge shout out for everyone racing in the Challenger Series tomorrow night. In the HTL Challenger Series, the Truck Series is back in HTL Tuesday nights, beginning tomorrow night right here on the High Banks of Daytona. Speed Weeks is alive with the sound of thunder, and it continues with the trucks tomorrow. Another huge shout out, Team Contest and Performance, for sponsoring both pole qualifying and the duels coming up here. 40 laps here at Daytona. It'll be a lot of fun to see how these cars race together. And obviously Henderson Graphics, NASCAR quality paints without NASCAR quality prices. A lot of drivers rely on Henderson Graphics for their paints here on iRacing. If you need a little bit of an uptick in how yours looks, QR code will help you get things started. "21 cars in this duel. The open cars. Let me pull up my handy-dandy little list over here. Dale Markowski and Tristan Bayer. I thought Tristan Bayer was a chartered entry. Indeed, the 5 car is not a chartered entry. So Tristan Bayer and Dale Markowski will be battling over the last transfer spot. As we get ready to go. 40 laps. No fast repairs at all this season. Stage points are on offer here. So 10 points for the race win in Duel 1, all the way down to 1 point for 10th. 3 attempts at overtime if we need it. And again, that is a big if. If we need it, if we do need it, you'll see this pop up on your screen. Maybe an overdrive. And that's how you'll know that we are in overtime. One duel, normally chaotic. The other, relatively calm. We'll see how that stands, how that fares here in Duel 1. It's between Markowski in the 7 and Tristan Bayer in the 5. As far as who will make it into the show and who will be watching on the sidelines next Monday. The pace car's lights are out. And 21 cars trying to determine their starting position for the HTL Daytona 500. It's Toyota's on the front row. Emily Howe on pole. Green flag flies, and the first Team Conti duel at Daytona is underway. Trouble early. In the back. And caution is out for the first time. And it's cars further in the back. We talked about no fast repairs, and you're seeing that early. Tristan Bayer involved. Zach Meredith, it looks like, got a piece of it. And Olivia Pereira involved here. Those 3 cars all involved here. As we're under caution immediately on our opening lap here in Duel 1. Not the greatest tone to be set in the first points offering race of Season 8 here in the HTL Cup Series. Let's take a look as to why. What happened in this pack? And it looks like it begins early out of the back straightaway. Looks like Meredith just gets a pretty bad bump. No, it looks like Pereira gets a bad bump from Bayer. And it's because Meredith is pushing the 5. And it looks like the 28. That's not 28. That's 21. That's Denny. 28 looks similar. Marcus Chafin. He is in Duel 2. Let's take another look at that. So this is Meredith. So Meredith's in the red, wine, blue car. So he is near the bottom of your screen. Let's ride on board with him. Yeah, he just gets a really bad push. Pereira's already checked up off of Apperson. And Meredith just does not see it. Denny gets a piece of it. And that affects Bayer more than anybody else. Being an open car, already spun around and damaged on the opening lap, does not bode well for the 5 camp trying to make it into the show. Thankfully, it looks like there's not a ton of damage. Maybe for Pereira, who's backwards. See if we can run on board with Pereira here and just go full speed. And hook. That's not an easy hit. Not the easiest hit, and that also is not easy either. Your pole sitter for the 500 last season. Around backwards on lap 1 of the duel. So far, lightning has not struck well for the Akron native. So, early pit stop. Emily Howe comes out of pit lane after taking, it looks like fuel only. It looks like everyone's taking fuel only here except for those involved in the accident. Top 8 stayed out. Dustin Hall, Josh Susie, Davis Moon Jr., Casey Ellis, Mo Perry, Brady Smith, Elias Flores, and Patrick Oberstadt. Cars that came down pit lane include Emily Howe, Mirabella Viscali, Hunter Whitlock, Christina Ryan, Bailey Thompson, Brandon Roberts, Zach Apperson, Shad Swatsworth, Dale Markowski, Zach Meredith, just now leading pit lane in that number 2 machine. Olivia Pereira still in pit lane. So is Tristan Bayer and Alfred Denny early on here in Daytona for Duel 1. And again, it kind of gives Markowski some breathing space, knowing that the 5 car is in trouble early. Beagle Denny Racing could use having that 5th car in the conversation come next Monday for the HTL Daytona 500. Car 7 rolling around right now in 17th. Not where he wants to be on track, but some time to move, and he knows he's got an advantage on Tristan Bayer as far as just how that car is going to handle with damage here on the run. Pereira saying, not my fault for once. We love self-awareness. But yeah, Pereira just got turned, was leading the caboose, was trying to lay off of Apperson and got turned for it. And unfortunately, it also affected Tristan Bayer and Alfred Denny. Zach Meredith was trying to push 11 cars deep. For those watching on YouTube again, doing stuff on Patreon, it's going to be pretty cool. Patreon subscribers, if you are watching on Patreon, if you're already in the ABN Discord server exclusive for Patreon members, submit your trivia questions. They'll be featured beginning next week for the 500. Submit those questions in. I want to see them. There's only 2. Send in more questions. Use some of the perks you're paying for. Please. For those watching on YouTube, again, for those that are watching along on either platform, please let us know if there's any issues as far as quality goes. It looks like everything's pretty good at the moment. I'm getting thumbs up throughout the night. But if there are issues that do pick up, please point them out and let us know. Which you're already saying I should probably give her for my duel. You've got 35 minutes. At least. You'll be fine. Sit down and watch the race. Join us. Sit down. Enjoy the fun. Grab a notepad. Study. You shouldn't need study. This is your 4th season, but hey, there's some new faces. Take some notes. Or eat some pizza. But enjoy the show. Dustin Hall, Josh Susie at the front of the field. Getting ready for this restart. All 21 cars in the conversation together here. Green flag flies, and we are back underway. Immediately, Dustin Hall and Steven Overstadt, teammates on the outside lane. Got a pretty good start there. Not quite clear, though. Susie going to try to battle in the inside lane with help from his teammate, Davis Mule Jr. Doesn't bode well for Kevin Gibney Jr. He's all alone in Duel 2. Outside lane, though, does have momentum. That is Brady Smith, 3rd in line outside. Steven Overstack goes to the bottom of the racetrack, and now it's Beagle Denny Racing trying to lead both lanes here at Daytona. Steven Overstack with help from Josh Susie, former Daytona 500 winner, former 2-time series champion. Dustin Hall, support from Brady Smith in the 95. Patrick Oberstadt also in the conversation. 3-time race winner last season, outside lane, third in line, that mellow yellow throwback. Mirabella Viscali, Christina Ryan, fourth and fifth in line on the outside lane. Inside lane is where you'll find Mo Perry and Elias Flores. They're third and fifth on the inside lane, but the inside lane is fragmenting and it is falling apart. Casey Ellis gets in front. Brady Smith tries to go to the front. The teammates hold station. Oberstadt, Patrick Oberstadt, and Dustin Hall on the outside lane. Mirabella Viscali and Christina Ryan on the outside lane, now third and fourth. And the outside lane is still the place to be right now. Susie jumps back in line, sixth in line on the outside lane. Emily Howe, that purple and white machine, your pole sitter for the HTL Daytona 500 as determined by single car qualifying a little bit ago, sitting back. As she said in her interview a few minutes ago, just studying, seeing who's racing how, who does she want to work with for next Monday, how does she want to approach the drivers in this field for her maiden HTL Cup Series campaign. She's 13th at the moment. Nothing to lose being pole sitter for the Great American Sim Race. And in the thick of it here in car 15, further back. It is teammates first and second for Beagle Denny Racing, Dustin Hall and Patrick Oberstadt. And then it's side by side for third. Viscali on the outside. Hall helping lead that 18 along. Brady Smith inside lane, leading the way. And that gold and white Josho Racing Toyota. Christina Ryan chomping at the bit, metaphorically, still recovering from dental surgery 6 days ago. So has been itching to go racing. Not a fan of the single car qualifying format. Just wanted to get racing in the duels. Understandable, not the best qualifier is car 80. She's fantastic at racing here at Daytona. Fourth in line on the outside lane ahead of Josh Susie. Just wanted to get stuck in. Thankfully, she's in Duel 1. If she was in Duel 2 and she had to wait an extra 45 minutes to race, I think she would possibly go nuts. But here she is, side by side now with Smith. Top three cars are clear on the outside lane. Viscali still in this learning phase. Really good driver, can race a little bit of everything. Stock cars have not been a high mileage style of racing in her portfolio, but 100% game to the challenge. NFG Motorsports needed the help. Viscali's the kind of talent that can definitely help lift a team. Hunter Whitlock safely in the show for next Monday. Viscali looking to see if she can at least secure her starting spot in the top 10. This is all for the inside lane for each row, from row 2 down to row 20 in the field. And we'll do a check because it is notable. Tristan Bayer is struggling right now. The Outlaws esports car, the open machine, in trouble, off the pace, and languishing now. 13 seconds away from the field, needing help massively, and needing it to affect Dale Markowski, who is sitting at the back of the field, taking it easy for a reason. Dale Markowski, if things sit as they are, he'll be at the back of the field. He'd be in row 20 right now, but he'd be in the field for the HTL Daytona 500. Dustin Hall continues to lead the way. Ahead of Patrick Oberstadt, Christina Ryan now up to third. Viscali got shuffled out of the way. Christina Ryan up to third, ahead of Josh Susie and Davis Mood Jr. Viscali not wanting to really work with the 10 at the moment, it looks like. Thought about putting him in the middle 3 wide. Smeal shut that down and almost got himself super loose Because of it, Viscali shoots it to the bottom of the racetrack. And Emily Howe's going to go with. And the Toyota is going to work forward. Christina Ryan jumps down in front because she sees what's coming. And now it's Christina Ryan leading two Toyotas that we know are blisteringly quick here at Daytona. And Christina Ryan leads lap number 12. Cars weaving all over the racetrack. It looked like Moperi and Casey Ellis were thinking about coming down pit lane. That was not the case. They just went below the yellow line near pit entry. They are still in this pack. Ellis and Perry 11th and 12th at the moment. Outside lane surging forward, though, once again. Viscali having to be the lead pusher behind Christina Ryan. This is where experience is key. Viscali, not the biggest veteran, and not a veteran at all when it comes to plate racing. Emily Howe, obviously former Winston 400 champion, knows what it takes to be there, so having to kind of coach the 18 along. You see the gap right now between the 18 and the 80. That is way too much of a gap right now for Viscali. You have to close up. You have to get to the bumper of the 80. If you want to make progress, you're losing spots, you're losing time on board with the 18. You see they're gaining a little bit of ground here in the corner. You need to stay on that 80 car on the inside lane, a rookie course in plate racing. She's in between two of the best in HTL to do it on the high banks here in Daytona. Lining up there. The side draft there between the 81, the 10 on the outside lane, and Viscali and Ryan on the bottom. It's going to help that outside lane get a pretty good launch. Unfortunately, I just don't think Viscali's in the right place to be right now for that to be sensible. Viscali can't be the top. Right now, Viscali, just with the limited knowledge she has as far as super speedway racing goes, she just can't be the top two in line. Third in line, if her and Emily Howe had flipped, probably would have been a little bit better. But instead, the inside lane is practically starving off at the moment. And it is still Dustin Hall and Patrick Overstat leading the way over Bailey Thompson and Brady Smith. Zach Meredith is trying to crowd Christina Ryan towards the fence. Christina Ryan hip-checked him and moved him out of the way. Christina Ryan will not tolerate some of the shenanigans. And she's had some time. She's done some races, 12 races to be exact. She knows who she's racing with. And the former champion, Zach Meredith, had to stand down pretty quickly. And now it's the friends, the roommates, the Charlotte Musketeers, Emily Howe and Christina Ryan, nose to tail inside lane. And that inside lane suddenly looks pretty domineering. Emily Howe pushes Dustin Hall a little bit wide, breaks up that outside lane a little bit. Really big pro move. Emily Howe and Christina Ryan lead the charge in the inside lane. They're clear of the outside. Hunter Whitlock in line, third in line there. Hunter Whitlock is safe in the show. He qualified in on speed. The question for Whitlock is just where will he start? There's four cars further back. Flores, Roberts, Markowski, and Ellis. They have lost the main pack. But for Markowski, again, he is safe. Tristan Baer is about to go a lap down here as we complete lap 17 in Duel 1. Zach Apperson, fast lap of the race, 44.8 for the four car. Howe and Ryan both went to the outside lane, left Whitlock to his own devices with Meredith on the inside lane. Josh Susi on the bottom, same with Davis Mills Jr. Last season, we raced the 7th generation car here at Daytona, and it was the bottom line that was the place to be. You couldn't really go anywhere without it. right now with the limited car size. Again, not even 20 cars in this group. We're down to 16 in this lead pack. It is the outside lane that has the numbers advantage. It has momentum. And it is a bit of a Schrodinger's box of what kind of race you're going to get. With 40 cars, like what we're going to see next Monday, it'll be a wild time here at Daytona because just about everything will work at some point during the race. In a small group like this, the middle lane, the outer lane will be the preferred lane because momentum is so important. Cars coming down pit lane. Just two. It's the Gibney Racing Division teammates, Susie and Smeal, coming down pit lane together. And they both have got to hit their marks pretty well. Looks like they do. No penalties for either, so they both made pit speed. But the inside lane has now withered once again as we approach the halfway point here in Daytona. Tristan Baer, car 5, up to go a lap down. And the field is mostly single file, so that shouldn't be too awful much of an issue. At least for the top 5. And in fact, there is Baer going a lap down early. And the inside lane becomes the middle lane for about 20 seconds. Yeah, we clear the 5, and so it'll be back to business as usual. Whitlock being pushed by Meredith on the inside lane. So we march forward here at Daytona. Blake Henderson kind of pointing out what we were already kind of pointing out there watching live. The inside lane, if you got a good group, can be the place to be. Right now, the outside lane is just easier because it's got the numbers advantage. But you're seeing right now with Whitlock and with Meredith that you can still gain ground when you've got the right people, the right know-how. And that's what we're seeing right now. Whitlock is now level with Christina Ryan. We also know how fast those Toyotas have been here at Daytona. Caitlin Height won the shootout last Monday. It's a front row lockout for Toyota here for Arrowhead Racing in qualifying. Whitlock goes top to help with Emily Howe, and now it is Meredith with Shad Swatsworth, the reigning Daytona 500 champion. Teammates trying to crowd the outside lane, giving up the bottom altogether, trying to side draft. And Meredith goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Emily Howe got really loose. I think a little bit of contact there between Howe and Ryan, and they are all checked up now. Meredith racing extra hard. We talked about some of the poison, some of the bad blood in the offseason. You're seeing some of that play out a little bit here. Some passive-aggressive racing on the racetrack at the moment. Cars hooked. Trouble. They somehow saved it. I believe that's Patrick Oberstadt. It was Oberstadt and Brady Smith. They saved it. But a bad time to lose time with pit stops in the not-so-distant future for fuel. Those that came down pit lane, most of them in the top 6 right now. We'll go a couple laps longer here. Herrera, Perry, Smith, Flores down pit lane together. Teammates there for Ascent and Joe Show Racing. Inside lane, no help at all, and that's just a numbers game right now. Inside has only got Howe, Denny, and Apperson. Most of your group right now is in the outside lane. But this group, this pack is fractured. It is fractured into so many different little subgroups now. You got this lead pack, which is 10 cars large. This 4-car group, Patrick Oberstadt, Brendan Roberts, Dale Markowski, Casey Ellis, which is 4 cars deep. And then those that have made pit stops already. Pereira, I believe qualifying has come to an early end for Pereira. A black flag for speeding on pit lane for the 96, and the day gets bad to worse for Olivia, and it looks like it may be a chalked up 40th or 39th place start for Pereira after being on pole position a season ago for this race. First to last challenge, not a pleasant one, but it is one that Pereira now faces ahead of next Monday's Great American Sim Race. Numbers beginning to coagulate at the top of the board once again. It's a little bit more even. Lap traffic will become a factor here. Remember, they came down pit lane earlier, and they did not come down together. That is Flores about to go a lap down the 99. And they're going to put him a lap down pretty safely. They've got a pretty decent speed overlap on the 99. He'll catch up to the tail end of the group and see what he can do from there, but he is not going to have a great starting position on Monday if that is the case, and that's how it stands. Christina Ryan moves to the bottom, support from Whitlock as they try to get around Zach Meredith. Christina Ryan and Zach Meredith already made contact earlier in this race. Meredith's made contact with 3 different cars in this race already. Driving like his hair is on fire in that 2 car. And Whitlock just pushing car 80 here. Meredith has no help, separated from Chad Swatsworth there for a moment. Really hard bump there down the back straightaway. You saw the wobble into turn 3. Their pit stops not far away. Even for those that came down pit lane under caution, they came down pit lane on lap 2. That's definitely not going to get you to the end of the race. So you got to come down pit lane at some point. Keep an eye on that line of 4. Led by Patrick Oberstadt. They're closing a little bit on this group. It is not impossible for them to get back into this conversation before pit stops, and that would be a wild swing of pace if that comes to fruition. Pereira is back on the racetrack, but is in 21st and 24 seconds away from Tristan Baer. And that group of 4 is now in. They are in now the conversation, and now it becomes 14 cars in this lead pack. Swatsworth tried to get clear, does get clear of Christina Ryan. Christina Ryan cut him a break to make that happen. And now Dustin Hall back to the outside lane, leading the way. Emily Howe in second, your pole sitter for this race. Inside lane has most of the people in it, and they are preparing for pit stops. Here comes some of them. Looks like 6 come down pit lane. Swatsworth spins, slows down Meredith, and everyone slows down. Trouble Brent Roberts. Roberts hits Swatsworth. Huge moment on pit lane, and it was from the front. And now it's Hall, Howe, Ryan, and Whitlock. 1, 2, 3, 4, Thompson in 5th. And they've got to avoid doing what they just did when they come down pit lane, likely this lap. They're all single file this lap. Looks like they're signaling that they're coming down. And we'll see how it goes. Everyone watching, pit lane entry, it always is a tricky one, but it's also so very important here. Howe and Whitlock stay out. Hall comes in and he overshoots it. I think that's a speeding penalty. It is. Dustin Hall's race comes undone. Speeding penalty for car 1. He's the only one of those 5 that came in. They're all teammates. Ryan, Thompson, Apperson, Denny, they're all good. Dustin Hall, unsafe pit entry. That is a stop and hold. They will hold him an additional 40 seconds. 3 cars in the conversation, all Toyotas. They avoided the melee for good reason. They'll come down pit lane this lap. 3 cars. Easier sailing for these 3. Viscali gives Whitlock a lot of berth, and they're all in safely. Christina Ryan leaves pit lane immediately. And because the first groups came down pit lane and left so disorganized and didn't have time to help each other, they didn't have a chance to stay in line with this lead pack. So it's Christina Ryan, Bailey Thompson, Zach Apperson, Alfred Denny, 1, 2, 3, 4. They've got to get hooked up quickly because here comes Meredith, but he has no immediate help either. He's got away from Mo Perry, Josh Susi, and Davis Mio Jr. The Toyotas leave pit lane now. And now it's a race to the exit of turn 2. Whitlock with a decent pit time. Viscali with the best pit run of anybody. So Viscali's got the best shot to try to go and win this duel of the 3 Toyotas at the front of the field. But it's how do you get out of pit lane? And it looks like all 3 Toyotas are going to have a good shot here. They're going to be able to get up to speed here and stay in the conversation. Whitlock goes up top, trying to get some draft. Emily Howell will do the same. There's a second line of cars coming up as well. That is the larger group of cars. And Christina Ryan now leads Duel 1. As the laps tick away, 8 laps to go in the first Team Comp Descent Performance duel in Daytona. It looks like both Viscali and Howell got left behind there. And they'll have to try to jump in line now on that inside lane, which is where you'll find Mo Perry. It is 4 versus 9 on that inside lane. Whitlock is in this group. Or trying to stay in this group. He is in drafting distance, so he should be fine. And Viscali and Howell, they stay in the lead group. Now it's 6 cars in that conversation, and they're going to work together on the bottom of the racetrack. 4v2, it's the Tombstone Unforgiven Alliance versus Arrowhead and NFG. Alliances are important here in HTL. Your friends are not just where you find them. They take months of planning, too. Keep an eye on Susie. That Silver Bullet, that 81 car, is in the conversation, leading that third group of 4. And he is now in the conversation. Do not roll him out. Davis Miller Jr., Brady Smith, also in the conversation, and Susie's going to put it through the middle. 3 wide. Good luck, everybody else. Christina Ryan blocks the 81, goes to the bottom of the racetrack. And now it's a 10-car scramble. And they've got lap traffic. The 2 cars that have penalties on pit lane, Oberstadt and Hall. Christina Ryan leads the way. Coming to 5 laps to go here in Daytona for the first duel. Three wide further back as they navigate the lap traffic. That's Apperson and Smith and Davis Miller Jr. Laps tick away. There's not been a heavy conversation on the transfer spot. Markowski is on the lead lap at 15th. Tristan Bayer is not. That's the conversation done and dusted. Markowski would be in. Tristan Bayer would be out. And Tristan Bayer going a second lap down here is a nail in the coffin. That basically puts any hopes of Tristan Bayer getting into the 500 on ice. So now it's about who wins Duel 1 and what does the starting grid on the inside lane look like behind Emily Howe. Emily Howe is in the mix. Remember, this points on offer, very precious points that you're going to need this season with no wild card rule in effect. 10 points for a win, 1 point for 10th. It scales down. With 4 to go, Christina Ryan would love to kick off the season on the highest possible note. So would Josh Susi, who has gone through heartache the last 2 seasons. Billy Thompson would love a win at Daytona. So would Zach Meredith. And again, don't roll out the Toyotas. Go into the bottom of the racetrack. The 15 and the 18. That team, that organization has got a dressing down as public enemy number one by some drivers in the community. Viscali hip checks Ryan. They go scrambling behind. Meredith goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Hal gets clear. And can she win Duel 1 from pole? Huge bump from Meredith. Viscali goes wild. Here comes Christina Ryan back to the front. Susie goes with. Thompson goes with. Smeal goes with. Christina Ryan trying to figure out what lane she wants to go in because she knows she's a sitting duck right now, coming to 2 to go. The good note is that Thompson is closer to her than Smeal is to Susie. So teammates will help each other out if they need to. Viscali back up to 4th. Meredith up to 5th. 2 to go, 5 miles in Duel 1. Christina Ryan, former ABN World Champion, leading at Daytona in that green Interstate Batteries-inspired number 80. Josh Susie, former 2-time HTL Cup Series champion, sits runner-up. Huge bump. Huge bump. Viscali looks for the race lead. Ryan to the sucker hole. Hal follows suit. Whitlock follows suit. We are coming to the white flag here in Duel 1. One lap to go, 2.5 miles in the first Team Conti December Performance Duel in Daytona. Outside lane is the fast lane at the moment. Viscali and Hal. As they started, they've inverted for this run to the finish. Viscali going to try to block the inside lane. Goes to the inside lane. Susie looks to the outside, but no help for the 81. Viscali's outnumbered by the Tombstone and Unforgiven cars. Viscali tries to crowd Ryan up top, but Ryan's got help from Apperson. They spin further behind. Smith goes around. It's a run to the finish. Christina Ryan and Zach Apperson. Who's it going to be? Christina Ryan wins Duel 1 in Daytona. Add 10 points to Christina Ryan's reservoir. Before the Daytona 500, Christina Ryan wins Duel number 1 for Unforgiven Motorsports. Apperson in second in a photo finish, determined by milliseconds. Bailey Thompson finishes in 4th. You see the green Sprite machine giving a big bump. Josh Susie providing some critical help once again, as he did with Caitlin Height a week ago in the shootout. He has become the kingmaker at Daytona. He will not wear the crown right now, but he will hand it off to others here in Speed Weeks. And Christina Ryan, I think, owes the 81 a little bit of a shout-out. But she will burn it down. She was chomping at the bit to go racing, and this was why. Because she knows how good she is on the high banks. Former ABN World Champion, tackling HTL full-time for the first time in her career in Season 8. And Speed Week starts off about as strong as it can. Won the Open, the HTL Open before the shootout last Monday. Finished top 5. Just 2 weeks removed from dental surgery. And Christina Ryan has now found victory at Daytona twice in Speed Weeks. Outstanding stuff. She's going to burn it down in a big way. We'll talk to your race winner of Duel 1 in just a moment, once she gets that car parked. I think she's actually going to try to see if she can go to victory lane here. Can she go to victory lane? We're going to find out. I don't think she can here at Daytona. Yep, there's an invisible wall there. Some tracks don't have it. Daytona's one of them. Phoenix has a pit lane you can go to. And she'll try to go to that here later this season. but instead she'll be left at the gates waiting to get in. Pretty metaphorical. That's what the duel sort of symbolize. It's the gateway to the 500 in 7 days' time. She wins Duel 1 in an enormous way. It does not get a lot better for Christina Ryan, though. 2 wins in Speed Weeks, the Open, and now Duel 1, 10 points richer. She was chomping at the bit, bored of single course qualifying. Not a great qualifier, but an amazing racer. Christina Ryan, winner of Duel 1. Walk us through it. That was a wild duel.
Yeah, let me get a drink for a second here. Sorry. Yeah, no, that was really fun. I thought we were out of luck there at the end. I got hit sideways and it got really squirrely on me, and I thought we were about to wreck, but this car is a race car, and we held it, and I had a great push from Zach. He won me that duel for sure, and I don't know, he was with me through the sucker hole, and we had enough momentum to get through there, and I just knew that I had to take the run. Obviously, me and Emily do these a lot, and I learned a lot from her, and I had to fall back on a lot of that to get it done. And I know it's not a race win, but it's great to be able to get a victory with this car and this chassis. I just named it Texas Hold'em, so first victory with her, and yeah, I'm super excited. I'm just glad to be able to get to the front in this deal, and you know, even if the rest of Speed Weeks goes terrible, we've had a great start, and that's something to hang our hats on. So really excited about that.
A lot of teamwork making the dream work here. We knew that was going to be the case here. You had a lot of team help throughout the night. 4 cars there at the end. Sorry, 3 cars there at the end with you, with Apperson, who is your little teammate there for Unforgiven. Billy Thompson, obviously working there as well. How important is it being, we talked about it last season, we talked about it going into Speed Weeks, how important it was being with a good group of people that you know you can race well with. How important was it being able to lean on that? You talk about using stuff you had learned from Emily Howe and some of the others you've plate raced with. How important was it also having that group of people to be there at the end for you?
No, it was great. I mean, me and Alfred have been working together all through Double Barrel, and I know I can really trust him. And if the roles are reversed, I feel like he can trust me to try, and we work together really well. And I've worked with Zach a bunch, but we've never really been in that kind of situation where, you know, our backs are against the wall, and it's one of those deals where the chemistry is really unspoken. And he was my favorite guy to see, because I think I wouldn't have blamed him if he had jumped on either lane and let me fall to the back in the sucker hole, but he jumped right in the middle. And that's the whole thing about this, right? I love working with this team, and we got some new friends on the satellite teams basically helping us out. Obviously, we were trying to work with Dustin. It was unfortunate about him getting dinged on pit road, but I don't know. I'm just stoked, especially because after the surgery and everything, it just seems, I was worried if that was going to affect how I drove and all that stuff. And it seems like, if anything, we've only gotten better. So, yeah, you know, you don't know how Daytona is going to go, but at any time that you can come into Speed Weeks and win twice, granted one was like a segment, but to win anything here is always fun. And it's great to know that I can still do this with this package. It's one of my favorites, and it put on a great show. And shout out to Zach for making the move at the end and trying to go for the win. I would have felt a little worse if he had just sat there. So it makes it feel all the better to be able to pull it off.
You get to start third next Monday for the HTL Daytona 500, and you get to watch Duel 2 play out. Before we let you go and let you celebrate and enjoy Duel 2, the show continues on here in just a little bit. If there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. A phenomenal job for Car 80, victorious in Duel 1 here in Daytona.
Yeah, huge shout out to Henderson Graphics. It's great to be in victory lane to kick things off. And Team Conti Sim Performance, they put together some good setups today to get us into the duels with decent track position. Granted, I'm not the best qualifier, but our other teammates did pretty good on that. And shout out to everybody who cheers me on every week, and everybody that supports me. And we got some big stuff coming up as far as content that I'll be doing. So I'm so excited. Man, that was fun. And thank you, Carmen, for all that you do as well. It's awesome. And shout out Bobby Labonte. Well, it's the old Texas Bobby and Texas Terry. So to win in a car that I've always really had a really big affinity for. This is my grandma's favorite driver, and she passed away a few years ago. So shout out to her. And feels really cool to get the win. So I'm sure I missed somebody along the way, but thank you guys so much. Stoked.
Phenomenal job for Christina Ryan, race winner here in Duel 1. She'll watch Duel 2 from the sidelines with a Duel 1 virtual trophy and 10 points to her credit. She, for a moment, is going to be leading the HTL Cup Series standings going into the 500. So, Christina, congratulations, and we'll obviously, the chat will see you watching along for Duel 2, and we'll see you again, if not tomorrow for the Challenger Series. We'll see you again on Wednesday for the ABN Champ Car World Series at Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, if you get a minute, go check that save on the backstretch too. That was insane. They're showing me now, and it's it's crazy. So, but yeah, thank you guys.
That was Christina Ryan, your race 1 winner, your Duel 1 winner here in Daytona. The full duel, the results looked a little like this, and I apologize for the team icons not being sort of where they were supposed to be. Still a work in progress, this new little overlay setup we got going on here. Christina Ryan, Zach Atverson, Josh Susie, Bailey Thompson. They'll start in rows 2 through 5 for the HTL Daytona 500. Christina Ryan winning Duel 1 will start 3rd. Zach Atverson will start 5th. Josh Susie will start 7th. Bailey Thompson starts 9th for next Monday's race. Mirabella Viscali started this race front row, finishes top 5, grabs 6 points for the trouble. Will start in 11th ahead of Emily Howell, the pole sitter for the HTL Daytona 500. Davis Miller Jr., Mo Perry, Hunter Whitlock, and Alfred Denny lock in the top 10 rows in the HTL Daytona 500 field. On the inside lane, Brady Smith, Elias Flores, top 12. And we go on down the field. It's not all roses further back down the order. Casey Ellis, Bren Roberts, Dale Markowski. Top 15, Dale Markowski racing his way in to the HTL Daytona 500. Tristan Bayer, the 5-car, will watch on the sidelines, going 2 laps down after receiving damage in a crash on the opening lap of action here in the duels. Dustin Hall, Patrick Oberstadt, penalties on pit lane derailed their days. Pereira, Meredith, Bayer, and Swatsworth all derailed by various points here tonight. They will start at the back of the field except for Tristan Bayer, who will not be a part of the Daytona 500 field. Duel 1 is in the books. We'll step aside for a brief moment to get ready for duel number 2. So stay with us here on Patreon and on YouTube for more racing to come after this at the World Center of Racing. Welcome back, everyone, to the Daytona International Speedway. Duel 2 not far away here from taking place. A wild duel number 1, but a very fun duel number 1. Christina Ryan winning that duel after Emily House started on pole position, earning pole for the HTL Daytona 500 next Monday. Before we get started for duel number 2, we'll talk to the pole sitter for this race coming up. Caitlin Height, your pole sitter for this race outside front row for next Monday's Great American Sim Race. Let's see if we can give her a ring here real quick. I'll have to try to make it happen here. Caitlin, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, front row start for the HTL Daytona 500. You're looking for a sweep here in Speed Weeks 1, the shootout on Monday last week. Outside front row here in qualifying, pole position for duel number 2. You've won all 3 before. You're one of only 3 drivers to win more than 1 duel in HTL. What's the feeling like going in so far, and what's the 13 car feeling like?
Really, I'm just gonna try and play it the same way as I did last week. Granted, it's a whole different group of people, so I'll try and work with James here as best I can throughout the entire evening, and see what exactly is gonna happen. I'm just trying to go through the list here and look and see who I might be able to make friends with here tonight. But yeah, oh, and Derek Miller, of course, he's in here. I almost forgot, can't do that. But yeah, it's just gonna be more learning and hopefully get some points at the end of it.
Camaraderie has been sort of the name of the game. We saw in Duel 1 how important the teamwork was. There's a lot of cars here in Duel 2 for you to lean on. Obviously, the Arrowhead cars, there's 3 of you in this field. On top of that, there's the NFG cars in this field as well. You've got, obviously, DJ Anderson. You've got, I believe Anderson actually might be it. So still 4 cars to work with here. How important is that aspect going to be?
Well, being able to work with any and everybody that you can, it's really important. But yeah, sorry, right now I both have like you and race control in my ears, so I'm just trying to talk at the same time, one of my weaknesses here. But yeah, just hoping to keep it clean and get some points, like I said, and just learn a few things and have fun.
Name of the game right now. Obviously, winning the shootout last Monday sets everything on the right tone here. Toyota front row lockout for the 500 next Monday. Caitlin, we'll let you focus on what's about to come up here for 40 laps. Enjoy it, and congratulations on the front row start. We'll hopefully talk to you again at the end of this one.
Thank you, and hopefully that's the plan.
And that would be Caitlin Height, the driver of the number 13, getting ready to go racing here in Daytona. We do have some cars to talk about here. Let's go ahead and go through your starting grid as we get everything lined up and ready to go. I'm jumping through a bunch of different tabs right now. So let's go ahead and jump through it. Caitlin Height and James Wright, front of the field teammates, as it will be next Monday. It is with a different set of teammates here on the front row. Caitlin Height and James Wright, row 1 for Arrowhead Racing Toyota. Toyota party takes a little bit of a reprieve. It's Orlando Outlaws in row 2. Bobby Flowers and John Matthews with that twisted setup magic. Going to try to make things happen here from the second row. Pretty good starting spot for them. Derek Miller, the 3rd car for Arrowhead Racing in this duel, locked in on speed. Does not worry about racing in. The question is just going to be where he starts. He's right now alongside Martin Roberg as we get ready for duel number 2. Kevin Gibney Jr., Gary Donaldson in row 4. That's your top 8. Top 10, Blake Henderson, Byron Jones. Blake Henderson and Caitlin Height, both of them have won duels twice in their HTL Cup Series career. If they're going to try to win a third duel, they've got to work around each other to make it happen. Henderson in 9th, Caitlin Height on pole. Marcus Chafin in car 28 for Unforgiven Motorsports. He's got 1 Cup Series win. It was at a plate track. Can he add a duel to his repertoire? He's alongside Steven Overstat in that number 3 Chevrolet in row 6. Casey Wygen, Eli Sasek, teammates are for Ascent Racing. They sit in row 7. Tucker Sawyer, Jason Scott in row 8. Ascent Racing not quick in qualifying. Can they improve on race trim? Row 9, Josh Arnold and Richard Odie. Arnold's won everything but the Daytona 500 and the duel. Can he add that to his collection here tonight? DJ Anderson, last car in this row. As we get ready to go racing here, 19 cars, 2 less than we saw in duel number 1. Very intriguing to see how that plans out. No Nick Pressey. We knew he was going to be missing here. Not going to be a factor in how this race shakes out. Tucker Sawyer and Marcus Chafin will be the cars trying to race into the field. So we will have a battle over the last spot to make the show. Chafin starting 11th, Sawyer starting 15th. It is almost time for us to go racing here in Daytona. We're glad you have joined us for a wonderful night. Here comes the encore. Duel 2 in Daytona is underway. James Wright with an early start, got ahead thanks to John Matthews. Matthews tried clearing the 13 of Caitlin Height, and trouble early on. Matthews was trying to clear himself, and there wasn't a gap. And immediately Caitlin Height in trouble. Thankfully, front row locked in for the 13. It really only affects the 98 and the 34, but it's trouble early for half of the Orlando Outlaws gang. They were starting in row 2. Matthews tried to be aggressive behind James Wright. And both Blowers and Matthews pay for it. But we stay green. We'll see if we can take a look at the replay here in just a moment. Caitlin Height not going to be happy with how that plays out. For James Wright's sake, thankfully, he's not alone. He's still got teammate help with Derek Miller. DJ Anderson also in the conversation in that alliance between Arrowhead and NFG. But they're on the back foot here massively. Steven Oberstadt leads the way over Eli Sasek, Kevin Gibney Jr., and Richard Odie now trying to make his way towards the front of the field in the 78. You are asking yourself what happened for that to take place. Absolutely wild. I don't think that's what anyone was expecting here in the opening lap of the race, but that's exactly what happened. And now things have calmed down just a little bit. 3 wide further back. That's where you'll find Tucker Sawyer, middle 3 wide, and he'll shuffle to the back of the field to get around Gary Donaldson. The 28 at Chafin. Currently in that transfer spot to make the 500. Both of them, Chafin and Sawyer, Winners of Talladega. Sawyer won last season. Chafin won back in season 2. 4 years ago. Outside lane, as it was in Duel 1, is the place to be in Duel 2. Not a lot of pressure at the front of the field right now. Everyone, at least at the front, looking set to just kind of ride around. They know this pit stop's coming. You can't get away from it here. Gibney going to try to lead the way forward. Anderson says, yeah, I'm going to think about it for a second. Ends up jumping in line there behind him anyway. They have started coming together at the back of the field, the 2 Outlaws cars and the 13. But they are well and truly over half a lap behind now on the race leaders. So they'll need some help. When there's only been 1 caution so far, and that was in the opening lap of Duel 1. We'll see how things pan out here. Henderson leading the inside lane ahead of Gibney. Overstat leads the outside lane still. The inside lane trying to work together. Some familiar faces trying to ride to the front. Almost feels like the old folks' home for Duel 2. A lot of veterans, a lot of your OGs from HTL. Henderson, Gibney, Chafin, Donaldson, Anderson, all in this mix. Eli Sasek may as well be an OG. He wasn't a part of the first 2 seasons, but he's over 100 starts in this series. At 106. Overstack continues to lead the way. Not a lot of team help there for Ascent at the moment. Not really much of a problem either. Eli Sasek not rocking the boat too awful heavy. And sometimes that's just the answer. Just don't rock the boat too awful heavy. You're not under threat right now. The points were on offer on the last lap, not the first 39. With Caitlin Height now over half a lap behind, it is now on Blake Henderson right now. If he's going to become the first driver to win 3 duels here in Daytona. Here comes, that is the 28 at Chafin. Down to the bottom lane in front of Henderson. 2 Atlanta boys now leading the inside lane. Wygent trying to look to the inside of Josh Arnold, that black number 12. Just peeking out for a moment. James Wright in this conversation as well. On the outside lane, that 14 car, that chrome and red. As they come around to start lap number 10, let's do something we didn't do in stage 1. Let's go ahead and let's crank it up. Trouble turns 3 and 4. Caution is out for the first time in Duel 1. Several cars involved, several cars destroyed. It was behind the race leaders. Marcus Chafin leads the way. Pacey Wygant, Byron Jones, all involved. Derek Miller spun around. Looks like Tucker Sawyer also got through, so both of your drivers trying to transfer into the 500 made it through there. Never fails. Go to crank it up, and a caution comes out pretty well right on time. Let's take a look at what happened. Some damage on the 25 of Blake Henderson, and that's going to put his attempt to win a third duel on pause. Byron Jones could not make it back to pit lane. Neither could Steven Oberstadt. So let's take a look at what happened, and it is already kicked off in a pretty massive way. And it starts ahead of Byron Jones, and it looks like it starts with Eli Sasek and Blake Henderson. And this does not bode well. We talk about ascent, earning a bad reputation. You try to start off new season, new me. And in Eli Sasek's case, he decided it was time to rock the boat a little bit. Tried to side draft. 9 is center of your screen. Just comes down trying to side draft and pulls the 25 right up. Oberstadt's got nothing he could do there. And Sasek doesn't get away with this scot-free. A little bit of insta-karma there. The street justice knows no wrong in motorsports, apparently. And you see that in full force there. Sasek just trying to side draft. We saw it worked really well in Duel 1. Didn't work well here in Duel 2. And you see the damage on Sasek's car. A lot of cars destroyed. No fast repairs here on the plate tracks. That is a change from last season. And it is going to put a lot of cars behind the 8 ball. It does help out Bobby Blowers, Kalen Height, and John Matthews. They split on lap 1. They're now back in the conversation well and truly without going a lap down. Steven Oberstadt's day is done early. And we'll take a look at what happened in full force. Let's go full speed for everybody watching at home. And you see it's already started early. Like, it happens quick. Bunch of cars involved. Byron Jones, you see the 24 car. He was left stranded. He couldn't go anywhere. Steven Oberstadt's date is done. He will start in 38th place for this race, I do believe. Let's back it up and look. It develops quick here in Daytona. He just tries a side draft down the 25 and just hooks him right up the hill. And the secondary impact is just as vicious for Byron Jones and Pacey Wygant especially. Nothing for Steven Oberstadt to do. He's got no steering at all. It's a hard knocks life here. A lot of cars on pit lane. It is tough right now. Get ready to go back racing here. And most of your field is coming down pit lane once again. I believe this is a top off with fuel stop that they're doing, because this would put them in the window to try to get to the end of the race. We talked about it. There was one guaranteed pit stop for fuel, and they're going to try to make that now. And there are some cars in some significant trouble. Derek Miller, Gary Donaldson, Blake Henderson, Eli Sasek, Pacey Wygant, Byron Jones. Wygant and Sasek and Jones have been in pit lane now for an extended period of time. They are off the lead lap. Oberstadt's day is done. He will take his 36th starting position, since there's 2 cars that did not start the duel here that were already locked in. Oberstadt will start 36th for taking part in the duel. And if things stay as they are right now, Byron Jones will be 34th. Pacey Wygant will be 32nd. Eli Sasek will start 30th next Monday. From there, it's still kind of up in the air, but there is now a lot less contenders than there used to be. It helped out those that have been affected by lap 1, but at what cost? Gibney leads the way, trying to do what his teammates failed to do in Duel 1. Tucker Sawyer has the advantage, but his teammates now all affected by what happened just a few laps ago. It'll be Tucker Sawyer versus the world. And we make the running joke, the Ascent School of Terrorism is in session. Tucker Sawyer will have to be very wide to defend position here, knowing that he is against a pretty tall order. And he is outnumbered right now. Kevin Gibney and Tucker Sawyer, front of the field. Gibney chose the outside lane, and that's how we'll go racing. Chafin. Marcus Chafin did not get a good start. Single file all the way back through. A lot of cars came down pit lane to top off with fuel. But we're back underway. You see some of the stragglers and what that actually looks like. It's pretty painful. Gibney sticking with Chafin. Sasek coming out of pit lane now. Byron Jones' day is done. And Sasek is going to come out of pit lane and hope for another accident here to try to pick up spots, but he is 2 laps down. And if it is a fuel save number that they're trying to hit, this could be a very timid Duel 2. We'll see if that's the case. Right now it's Gibney that leads the way. Chafin outside lane, second in line. Martin Roberg goes to the bottom to lead the way ahead of Sawyer. Josh Arnold third in line outside. And then you have the 16 of Derek Miller, who was involved. He was spun in that last caution. He is back in the conversation. All 3 Arrowhead cars together here, as well as DJ Anderson for NFG Motorsports. All 4 of those cars in that alliance here in Duel 2 are present. James Wright down in 12th. It looks like we have 14 cars in this lead pack. Gary Donaldson left behind. But 2 laps ahead of Eli Sasek. I don't think he's going to fall much further than 15th right now. Henderson, despite damage to his car, still up and running behind Derek Miller, that 25 car in line. We're right on board with him. Sitting 7th right now for Tombstone Motorsports. That's Miller up the road. Again, keep an eye on the 28 and the 09. They are next to each other on the leaderboard for a reason. Those are your 2 open cars looking to try to make it into the show. Riding on board with Henderson. He is on the outside lane, 2 cars behind Chafin. The outside lane checks up a little bit. It's Gibney, Chafin. And then Miller and Henderson. Inside lane is Arnold, Roberg, Sawyer. And then Jason Scott in the outside lane. Good run down the back straightaways, just right on board with the 25. Well, that's like that front of the car is relatively okay for the 25 of Henderson. It looks like it's all rear end damage. As long as he's got a car behind him, the parachute effects will not be as significant. Gibney leads the way, trying to stay in control of both lanes the best that he can. Super Speedway is not typically his prowess, but everyone has to step up here at Daytona. Because you know this is how your season's going to... You know how your season's going to start. You know what the vibe's going to be. You know what the trend setting's going to be. It's important to start off on the right foot. And forgive me, if he is back racing full-time, he needs to make a statement. The last few seasons, he's been the overlooked driver in a crowded environment. Outside lane now clear by 3 cars. Over the inside lane, that's Gibney, Chafin, and Miller. And that inside lane just falling apart. Not a lot of help there. As we approach halfway in Duel 2. Again, 14 cars in this conversation down to James Wright in the 14th spot. 19 cars started. 16 still running. And a little bit of a checkup there further back. That was Anderson that had to go through the grass, I believe, trying to avoid a checkup. I believe Roberg also ended up almost going in down into the grass there. So that will spread out the field just a little bit. Anderson being the one that bit the bullet the hardest. Now he's going to need the same help that Donaldson needs. And that is a caution more than likely to bring everyone back together. Sasek running around 3 laps down. He would need 3 cautions just to have a chance to get back on the lead lap. He would need a lot more help in the form of retirements, such as those behind him in the running order. Casey Wygen's climbed onto the timing stand to try to help the team and try to help Tucker Sawyer get into the Daytona 500. Tucker Sawyer's never been in a position where he could fail to qualify. He is in that position right now. The 28 of Marcus Chafin. Sits second for Unforgiven Motorsports. Miller in third. Arnold in fourth. There's now 13 cars in this line, and they're largely single file except for a couple at the back of this group. And this is what we were wondering. With everyone cutting it close on fuel that came down pit lane on lap 13, would they have enough to get to the end? The answer to that question is no, not right now. They're hoping that changes. The 28's also not in a great spot either, and I'm sure with Sawyer sitting 6th in line, that's the conversation in the Ascent camp. Try to lock things down a little bit, force the 28 to save a little bit, or to use a little bit more fuel. And I say that even though Sawyer now is trying to make his way forward, leading the inside lane, so they think that no one can make it. Body language, you got to learn how to read it here at Daytona. They think no one can make it on fuel, so they're just going to push. And you can tell that's the case because Sawyer's leading the inside lane. If it wasn't the case, he would be waiting for people to go by. He'd let Flowers lead. He would let other people lead. He would let other people die and fall on the sword. But the fact that Sawyer and Jason Scott are pushing so hard on the inside lane means that they think no one can save. And so if they think that, they're not going to let anyone save. Don't let anyone prove you wrong. Keep an eye though as well. Emily Howe on the pit box after Duel 1 and getting pole for the Daytona 500 is now on the pit box for Arrowhead Racing, coaching the 3 cars in this race. 2 of them at the back of the field. They're 3 wide, getting around I believe that's the 09 of Sawyer that got shuffled to the outside lane. It is. Sawyer tried getting in front and got shuffled to the outside. And now it's Henderson and Height in the middle. It looks like James Ryder commit as well. And apparently it is a mutual agreement that saving is not possible. Henderson gets to the bottom, leaves the Arrowhead cars high and dry in the middle. And they stay committed to the middle. Someone's going to go with them. Make a mess, see what happens. Miller qualified in on speed. He's just looking for his qualifying spot to know where he's starting. Sawyer still, at this moment, despite being fourth on the racetrack, would fail to qualify. Fourth is not good enough. And that is the difficulty when you have someone like Marcus Chafin. You got to really put up or shut up to do well here in the duels, do well here at Daytona. Gibney continues to lead the way. The 28 continues to sit behind. The 16, third in line. That black and electric purple machine. Tucker Sawyer, support from Bobby Blowers. And from Jason Scott. Teammates there, first and third on the bottom. And now Sawyer's going to try to go to the front once again. Outside lane just is not put together right now. Very sloppy there for a moment. They capitalized on it. And now Sawyer's going to try to go to the front of the field. How long will it last? There's a lot of shooters here. Sawyer tries to get to the bottom. He's going to try to block both lanes. We said he's going to try to make that car as wide as possible. You wreck your car, though, and you're out. We talked about it. There's no fast repair. We saw how much it affected cars, how much it affected Tristan Bayer in Duel 1. His duel was over before it started. Oberstadt, Jones, Wygen, their days done. Coming to 11 laps to go. How aggressive do you want to be? There's only two cars in this group that care about what Tucker Sawyer's race looks like, and that is Tucker Sawyer and Jason Scott. Everyone else fighting for themselves. So far, it's working. It's not go time yet. 10 to go is still an eternity here at Daytona. Gibney continues to lead the way. It is between the 28 of Marcus Chafin and the 09 of Tucker Sawyer to try to make the field for the Daytona 500. It's down to those two to complete the 40-car field. Sawyer leads the inside lane. Marcus Chafin is in the outside lane, second in line. Chafin going to see what he can do. He has been lockstep with Gibney. Two of the old guard. Sawyer gets a pretty rough bump there from Blowers, but he stays in the lead. But they're beginning to push a little bit harder, coming in 9 laps to go. Everyone trying to map out their plans, map out how they're going to do these last 8 laps. But the intensity is ramping up. two cars that they are approaching are two wounded cars, Gary Donaldson and Eli Sasek, who are not battling for position. A little bit of latency there from Blowers. That latency could be lethal there from Blowers if it's at the wrong spot. And it could really affect Sawyer. Seven to go here in Duel 2. Outside lane beginning to grab a little bit more momentum here. And I'm starting to feel nervous just out of principle, and I've got no dog in this fight. A little bit of a bad bump between Jason Scott and Bobby Blowers, and now it's Sawyer all alone. It is Sawyer all alone. Did Bobby Blowers blow an engine? Well off the pace. The 34 did not blow an engine, but got out of it. Got well out of it there. Dropped well and truly out of the conversation. Sawyer now down to 7. Sawyer jumped in line ahead of Blake Henderson. And now it's single file with 6 to go. And this is not going to do for the 09. The one ally that Sawyer and Jason Scott had, they no longer have. And this could be problems for Marcus Chafin. Henderson's going to go down and help his teammate. Roberg's down there as well. So is John Matthews. But the numbers game is the top line. 5 to go in Daytona for Duel 2. A lot can happen in 5 laps. We've seen it happen in 1. Blake Henderson said it during Duel 1. If you have the right group of people, the inside lane can be your oyster. Practice what you preach. That's what he's doing right now. Pushing the 28. And the Atlanta natives charging forward. Gibney tags the fence. Already tags the fence. Trouble! Trouble! Cars turned off the nose of Josh Arnold was Richard Odie. And the caution is out. Chafin leads. Henderson second. Or is it Gibney second? That's an important notion there. Richard Odie bounced off the fence, recoiled, and then back off the nose of Josh Arnold. And we've got our second caution, and we've got overtime. Richard Odie bouncing off the fence. Huge trouble for the 78. Already locked into the show. Not a huge factor for Richard Odie other than starting position. But we'll take a look at what happened. In real time, just bounces off the fence. And we'll take a look at that again in slow motion. Thankfully, for the most part, just a single car. It helps Bobby Blowers out a lot. It also helps DJ Anderson. Eli Sasek gets 1 lap back, but he'll still be 2 laps down, pinned in 16th. And you see, target fixation. Gibney went up the fence. Odie did 2, bounced. And Arnold was trying to fill that gap. And Miller gets a piece of the 78 as well. Miller is locked in on speed. He is not part of the transfer conversation in this duel. But being involved in both cautions, not a great way to start off here in HTL if you're Derek Miller. And you see Odie just slide around backwards down the tri-oval. And so some cars come down pit lane. A decent chunk come down pit lane. Henderson, Chafin, Blowers, Miller, Donaldson, Arnold, Odie, Anderson. They all come down pit lane. A few stay out. Gibney, Roberg, Matthews, Sawyer, Height, Wright, and Jason Scott. Your top 7 all stay out. And that's how things look at the moment. Awesome Mongol going through it here. Watching live. Absolutely wild stuff. It is Gibney that leads the way here as we approach overtime. While you're here, if you're watching on YouTube, come over and join us on Patreon. We got some stuff coming up here. ABN Countdown to Green coverage for the HTL Daytona 500 begins 7 p.m. Eastern right here on Patreon. And we have ABN Victory Lane, our extended post-race coverage after the race on Patreon, as well exclusive to Patreon subscribers. We talk and sit down with more than just the podium finishers of the race. Grab thoughts, insights, and analysis on the HTL Cup Series events. ABN Victory Lane for every HTL Cup Series event here in Season 8. ABN Countdown to Green for an extended variety of HTL Cup Series events. Beginning next Monday. On top of that, podcasts, news articles, driver spotlights, and more. All that's available on Patreon. QR code or in the description down below, patreon.com/ABN Studios is the place to be. If you're already watching on Patreon, part of this simulcast, welcome to the show. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for subscribing. You've been shouted out at the bottom. The ticker at the bottom of the screen has been listing all of the Patreon subscribers that have helped support ABN so far. You're a part of every single live broadcast we do here on ABN. It means a lot. Simulcast so far going pretty well. Can't wait to sort of dissect how things look after the fact later on this week. HTL Challenger Series begins tomorrow right here in the High Bank. Speed Weeks continues to go. The Truck Series will come alive once again in HTL tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Join us then. Getting ready to go back racing. We are officially in ABN overtime. It is Gibney, Roberg, at the front of the field. The green flag flies, and away we go. Let's see how this pans out. Got to get to the white flag for the race to be official. Sawyer trying to hang on like his life depends on it. Chafin, the 28 car, fourth in line on the top side, trying to make it into the show and deny Tucker Sawyer. We're coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go in Daytona. This is official. Can they make it back? Chafin goes to the bottom. Support from Height. Gibney tries to pinch the bottom. Henderson's going to go low. And Gibney couldn't stop the group. Marcus Chapin leads the way on the white flag. Gibney in third, Henderson fourth. Sawyer's been left out to dry. And Gibney realizes too late that he had no help. Teammates go to the bottom. Sawyer needs a lot of help and fast, and it's not going to come to him. Out of 4 for the final time. The 28 leads the way. For the line, Kalen Height win. That's a photo finish. Who got the finish of that race? It's saying Kalen Height. It looked like Marcus Chafin. If it is Kalen Height, she set the fastest lap of the race to do it. But Marcus Chafin, importantly, is in the HTL Daytona 500. And for the first time in his career, Tucker Sawyer will fail to qualify. And it looks like it is Kalen Height, your winner. Got a congratulatory bump there from James Wright, who finished 4th, and from Blake Henderson, who finished 3rd. And I'm sure Blake Henderson very appreciative that Kalen Height helped push Marcus Chafin into a Daytona 500 berth. But it is Kalen Height. Won the shootout a week ago. Wins her 3rd career duel. And now is 1 race away from a Speed Week sweep. Marcus Chafin is in the 500. Blake Henderson finishes 3rd. James Wright, his best start for the 500, will start in the 8th position. Martin Roberg will start 10th. And Tucker Sawyer, 6th, is not enough to make the field. He is out of the great American sim race. That was insane. Absolutely just insane. We talked to Kalen Height before the start of duel number 2. We get to talk to her at the end of duel 2. 10 points richer, now level with best friend Christina Ryan on points entering the Great American Sim Race. Kalen Height, 3rd career win in the duels in Daytona, and now 1 race away from the complete Speed Week sweep. Walk us through it.
I got to keep this quick because I got to go real soon. But yeah, the dual wins just don't mean anything right now. I mean, sure, a few extra points are good, but next week is a big show, and hopefully that the entire Airhead Racing team puts on a good show. Great to be back here in HTL again, and want to give a big shout out to all the admins, and of course you for broadcasting each week in and out, and all the fans watching right now. Hopefully Al, Chris, and Jamie might have been watching, and big shout out to the E83 machine setup shop for the qualifying effort today, and all the dolls back in the shop. That was just a really great race out there. I know Bobby and the 98, we all got tangled up on the backstretch on the first lap. Sorry about all that, and unfortunate that was, but yeah, at the very end there, saved some gas to make sure that I could make it the entire way, and then just made the right moves at the right time, and happy for Marcus to get in for the transfer spot there.
Big race here. Kalen Height goes from pole, a wild race, to go drop to the back of the field and then make it back to the front. Obviously, you said you have to sort of make it quick here. We'll let you go. Enjoy the race win this week. Obviously, front row start for the 500 next Monday. Enjoy it, and we'll hopefully talk to you again next Monday in Victory Lane once again. Way to go, 2 for 2.
Hey, thank you.
That was Caitlin Height, your second place finisher, making it brief, making it sweet because she's got work coming up. Trying to balance things out here. It went a little long, 11:16 p.m. on the East Coast. She is in Massachusetts, so got to sort of deal with things as they lie. It is one of the longest nights here in HTL Cup Series competition. For a good reason, Caitlin Height is victorious here in Daytona. Give me 1 second here. We're kind of doing this live on the fly. All right, seeing if we got more interviews coming up here. Obviously, we want to make sure we interviewed the dual winners, especially here. Outstanding all the way through. Obviously, Caitlin Height did a great job. Well, we look to see if we're doing more interviews. Double checking here. Trying to see how this is going to play out. We interviewed Caitlin Height. We interviewed Emily Howe. Looks like we'll interview Marcus Chafin, who makes the final transfer spot here. I'm just trying to get everything coordinated here for a moment. Let's go ahead and pull Marcus in here. Marcus, this is Carmen from the ABN booth. You got a copy?
I sure do. How's it going?
I'm assuming it's going a little bit better for you. It was tense in that 28 camp going through this race between you and Tucker Sawyer to make the field. That last restart was everything. Obviously, walk us through it because that was more nerve-wracking than it was in Duel 1, that was for sure.
Yeah, it's absolutely nice to finally be able to breathe. I didn't know really what I was going to be expecting coming into this, but it definitely wasn't having to run in the top 4 to transfer in. But yeah, Tucker was tenacious. He was coming to the front all race long. It felt like me and him passed each other probably 20 times. That last restart, I didn't really know what my plan was necessarily because we were both kind of on the top there. As soon as I saw that we had the jump and they kind of cleared it, I was like, I told my team, I was like, as soon as we get past, I'm going to the inside, and that's kind of what happened. And thankfully, I've got some great teammates. Blake really gave me some good pushes there to kind of keep me up front and get me past the transfer spot. And then it was all in my hands, just trying to just hang on. Caitlin did a heck of a job taking care of me there the last couple of laps. I kind of expected the move that she was going to make coming off of 4. I tried to run her up the track a little bit, but I was also trying not to get right hooked because I still had to transfer in. But no, it was a great time. I'm very, very excited to be back. New look, new team, new season. Let's go.
Just realized I was muted the entire time. Lovely. I'll ask that question again, this time for the whole world to hear. What I was going to say, so you breathe a little bit easier, and that was obviously a big talking point here, but the last time you won a race here in HTL was almost 4 years ago. Obviously, it's been a little bit since we've seen you. Last time we saw you, you were running part-time back in Season 5, 3 seasons ago. A lot has changed in HTL, And as you saw with your teammates there, Christina Ryan winning Duel 1, the team stacking the deck in the top 10, you and Henderson starting in the top 6 on the outside lane there. You've got Ryan, you've got Apperson, you've got Thompson on the inside in the top 10, starting 3rd, 5th, and 9th in next Monday's race. What is the feeling like knowing that you've got a week to prepare and you've got a bunch of super speedway absolute just shooters ready to go to duke it out in the race next Monday?
I mean, it kind of feels like Hendrick Motorsports back in '08. You know, you had Junior, Gordon, Johnson, all those guys. It's been pretty cool to kind of hear some of the talk and banter amongst the team. Like, these guys know a lot. And it's been nice to kind of sit back and just soak it up. I don't think I said a word really all race long. I mean, I've been running since I've been gone. I've been running quite a bit as well, multiple different leagues. So I feel like I've gained my experience level quite a bit since being gone. Coming back's really the big challenge. Plus, I miss my day one guys, right? Like, I started my league racing journey with HTL back in the NASCAR heat days. Kind of helped get it started over here. So it's really cool to kind of be back in the stomping grounds, so to speak, and all the new faces around here, and seeing what Blake and the team have done with the league as a whole. It's been really cool to see and kind of watch from afar. And I've always kind of been there to have his back and support him, even though I haven't necessarily been here. I appreciate the partnership that you guys have with HTL. I'm just really, really excited to be back. I could care less what the results are this year. Just happy to be here.
A phenomenal job for the 28 camp. Marcus, before we let you go and let you obviously get ready for the racing to come, hopefully we see you tomorrow night for the Challenger Series, the trucks here at Daytona. If not, and we have to wait until next Monday to see you, at the same want to shout and say thank you to the floor is yours. Congratulations on making the show and starting 4th for the Great American Sim Race next Monday.
Thank you, Carmen. I will be there tomorrow night. Looking forward to that as well. But yeah, big shout out to Blake. Obviously, he's kind of the one that got me back in here, brought me on to Tombstone Unforgiven. So that's really cool. Appreciate that. My new teammates, appreciate you guys. And great show, everybody. I'm ready to go.
A lot of fun watching out. Duel 2 played out tonight. Marcus, congratulations, and we'll see you start 4th next Monday, and we'll see you again tomorrow night in the Truck Series.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
And that was Marcus Chafin, 2nd place finisher tonight, transfers into the HTL Daytona 500. Next Monday, we'll see him again tomorrow night for the HTL Challenger Series right here at the World Center of Racing. The full results look a little something like this. Not sample name 500. Let me go ahead and fix that. We're scrambling to get things ready to go. There you go. Now if you're going to take screenshots, fire away. Caitlin Height wins the duel for the 3rd time in her career. She is now alone on the pedestal once again. Blake Henderson will have to play catch-up, and he'll have to wait until next year to do so. Marcus Chafin finishes 2nd. Blake Henderson finishes 3rd. James Wright, his career best finish in the duels, he finishes 4th ahead of Martin Roberg, Tucker Sawyer. Unfortunately, the Ascent Racing driver, the 2-time race winner, the ABN World Championship hopeful, will not be a part of the HTL Daytona 500 field on Monday. DJ Anderson finishes 7th. He will start outside row 6 in 12th. Derek Miller, in his first HTL Daytona 500, qualified and on speed during pole qualifying. He'll start in 14th. Kevin Gibney Jr. will start 16th after finishing 9th here tonight. John Matthews will start in 18th after finishing 10th. Richard Odie will start in 20th after finishing 11th here tonight. Bobby Blowers, a wild race for him. Not where he wants to start. He will be 22nd on the grid next Monday. But he's in the show. One of 4 cars in the show for Orlando Outlaws. And it kind of goes down from there. Jason Scott will start 24th after finishing 13th tonight. Gary Donaldson will start 26th. Eli Sassick will start 28th ahead of Josh Arnold, who will start in 30th place. Pacey Wygant will start in 32nd position for Pacey Wygant, 34th for Byron Jones, 36th for Steven Oberstadt. A wild, wild, wild night to be a part of things, and it keeps going. It does not stop. Tomorrow night, the HTL Challenger Series at Daytona. You're going to want to join us for that. It's going to be live, simulcasted again on YouTube and Patreon. That'll be tomorrow night beginning 8 p.m. Eastern Time. ABN Champ Car, Patreon exclusive from Mid-Ohio tomorrow on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Keep an eye on that, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. ABN Champ Car at Mid-Ohio before the spring break. Action keeps coming thick and fast here. IndyCar Series from Texas. That's Thursday. Also simulcast on Patreon and on YouTube. That is, again, on Thursday at 8 p.m. 9:30 Saturday. RX High Octane from Darlington, the Lady in Black, welcomes the RX Truck Series to the conversation. That is Saturday, 9:30. And then Winslow Cup Series action from Chicagoland before their spring break. That is Sunday, 7:45. Again, both here on Patreon and on YouTube. We hope to see you there. For those that make things happen, part of the simulcast is made happen by our amazing Premier Tier subs who are on your screen right now. Thank you so much for supporting us. The numbers beside the names, that's how long they've supported us on Patreon. Trade Up Slogan, a full year. Thank you for being one of our first and longest Patreon backers. Dogman2935, Eli Sasick, Jason Scott, Alfred Denny, Weekend Hobby 22, Philip Snipes, Tyler Head. Thank you for 3 months of support so far as well. For B-Dogs, your 3-month anniversary is coming up here this week. Thank you for your support. Colin McDonough, you're not far behind. 2 months for support so far. Thank you as well. Blue, KJ Gibney, James Wright, J-Paw, you joined this month. Welcome to the show. Here's your shout-out. Hopefully we get to do a lot more with your shout-outs here, and hopefully you get to enjoy a lot more content here across the month of May. Thank you all so much for the support. But that'll do it from us here. A wild night, a long night here from Daytona International Speedway. Join us again tomorrow night for the HTL Challenger Series season opener. Trucks are back in action on HTL, and they're back here on ABN. That's tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, on behalf of everyone for HTL, the Cup Series, Team Continuity and Performance, for sponsoring tonight's festivities, and everyone here at ABN Studios, I'm Carmen Sienna. Congratulations to Christina Ryan and Caitlin Height, our dual winners for Season 8. We'll see you again tomorrow night, and we'll see you again throughout the week. Stay safe, everybody, and enjoy.